We can't see it.
No. We need to see ourselves.
Okay, he's got his hand up.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on one second.
He's about. You good?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to SVR Sports Picks. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the Loshak and the Bag show for Friday morning, November 30th. And we actually yesterday hit over 500 live viewers, which is really nice. But I have a feeling, Jim, that this show might be starting to get really popular because someone apparently hacked into the show and tried to mute people on yesterday's show. Tell us about that, Jimmy Bag, while I get everything set up here.
Let's not make too big of a deal.
We have to make a quick apology for that.
Yeah, let's not make too big of a deal about it. But a bunch of our low baggers were muted, and not just affecting our show, affecting all SBR shows. So if you were saying things in the chat, now I can read, like, and you guys know if you've not been muted because I read out your names all the time. But if you were saying things yesterday and asking people questions and nobody was answering you, it's not because we don't love you implicitly. It's because.
Whoops, sorry about that. Very sorry. Go ahead.
You need to mute.
Yes, I need to mute myself.
It's because you were muted, and so we found that out. We've been going through unmuting everybody. I'm not sure if everybody's unmuted. We've got a huge schedule today. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but that did happen, and we apologize for that happening. So if you were on the show yesterday and nobody was answering your questions, that's why. We found out some of our most beloved guys had been muted. So in saying that, let's just move on and get focused on a big Friday. It is Friday. We're coming off a nice day. Want to give a shout out. Look at these great cappers in the chat. Maxwell Smart, who started out 4-0 in Berlin this morning.
Oh, really?
4-0 in Berlin.
Man.
Maxwell Smart says, Loshak in the Bag, number one sports betting show in the world. The world number one chat box full of experts and brass ball bettors. I'm blessed to be here. Much love to you, Maxwell Smart. We got Scotty Rock Forever. We got Abba Zabba 78, J Ballgame, Robbie Tagaloa, Kobe Valentine, Nut Flush, Alan Capper, John Gate Pass Key. Oh,
and
what a
look,
great
and
group.
there you go. Nutflush Allen said, now that makes sense. Nutflush Allen, were you one of the ones who was commenting? Because I swear to God, yesterday, last night, I had a conscious thought. I was like, that afternoon show was pretty good. I'm surprised I didn't see Nutflush Allen comment because it was just a thought. I was like, come to think of it, I didn't see any comments from Nutflush Allen. I don't know if you were one of them, but yeah, I heard that like Jansen Bonzone was one of them. There were a bunch of people who were
Al Hard feels like he doesn't get the respect on this show. We love you, Al Hard. He says I must be muted every day. Al Hard,
no.
Al Hard, come back to us. It's Friday.
Yes. Al Hard is the main guy. Who, if he says that I'm wrong on a total, makes me think I'm wrong on a total and makes me think about taking it back and makes me very, very nervous. Massive shout out to Al Hard. Yes, it is also true that we don't get to a lot of comments just because of the pace of the show and the limited time we have, but we just wanted to address that there, someone hacked into the channel, jealous, right? And they muted a bunch of people and we couldn't hear them. And if that is why you're and the thing is, like, when you're banned, you know that you're banned, but when you're muted, you don't know that you're muted.
You just think we're being assholes.
And so you don't know that we are not seeing your comments at all.
Yeah, which is just sabotage.
Yes.
But great group here. Yes, Lamont Williams, I see you, man. We got Mitch Bukowski, Leo Mack, JC Alvarez, Theodore McIntosh, Odar Lira.
Mm-hmm.
Our best friend from Venezuela says, I thought you were ignoring me. Now we know. Thank you, Baseball Bob, getting some shouts out for that Ottawa Senators under.
Oh, no. See,
what's wrong?
Reggie says, Pete, you owe me one. That Kings second half killed me. Reggie, I'm so sorry. I think, Reggie, because I was hitting a bunch of my tweets in a row. I had 8 or 10 tweets that were cashing, and a bunch of my second half plays were cashing in a row. And I tweeted out 2 NBA second half losers. One of them was Indiana second half, and Indiana +1, which lost by 1 point. And then I tweeted out Sacramento. That one I'm okay with. The Sacramento second half money line, I thought it was a decent play because Sacramento, undervalued the Clippers. I know that they manage their players well. And Reggie says that he
Well, Reggie put some money into my pocket with the Dallas Mavericks score, so maybe he was hoping a low bagger would get him back. Come on, that's
why I hate tweeting out plays and stuff like that. Not because of my reputation, not because of any of that. Just because I feel bad if someone tails it and then loses. I just feel bad. Reggie, I sincerely apologize. That was a pretty crappy play, and I apologize.
This stuff happens. Let's focus on the winners, not the losers. Shout out to everybody who had the Cowboys last night. The Cowboys money line. Our man Adam Frendo money line and spread. Brooksy, Brent Brooks loving the money line.
Yes.
All you guys that were on Dallas. I was afraid to do it. I said Dallas or no bet, and just no balls. Just no balls at all.
Yeah.
No balls played, but you know.
Oh, right. Shout out to Adam Frendo, who gave us a Dallas money line in the friggin' video, which is unbelievable. And let me see. A lot of people did well yesterday. I also had a very big day in NHL, and I've actually hit a high water mark in NHL, Jim. I'm now up to, I finally hit, not quite there, I'm 29.9 units.
Oh,
and why is it? It's because I started to give, all my leans in the NHL season were all cashing, and I started to throw them on in the Ottawa game. Remember, I added on the Ottawa first period money line. That one cashed easily. And you played that game like a goddamn
and
you said, I was like, what do you think about the first period over? And you said, it could be Ottawa 2-0. And I was like, yeah, it could. And that made me go on the first period. And then, of course, the other big lean that I had that I didn't give that we talked about was Rangers team total under 3.5. They got shut out. We should have been on that. I should have been on that.
I'm not going to take those minus 150s, but I understand it was a great play. It was a simple play. And I understand why somebody would be on it. I would have had a nice night last night, but the Jets allowed 2 goals late. They were up 6-3 with 9 minutes left. I counted that as a puck line victory. Those things happen. Too bad. Nashville has too many injuries. That was a mistake. They were too big of a favorite. They're missing 2 top 6 forwards. They're missing a top line left winger. They're missing their second line centerman and a top line defenseman. That was a mistake. That was just bad capping. I apologize for getting you guys there. Leo Max says, Jimmy, how bad were refs last night? They're getting worse. Beasley was at least a yard for making that first down. There were definite, there were definite issues in that game with the refs, but the leans that everybody was on, the under that almost, it seemed like everybody was hammering.
Yeah.
It was great work, great capping, and I'm embarrassed that I didn't jump onto it.
All right,
let's get to work.
Let's get to work. Before we get to work, once again, Reggie, I apologize. You're such a great guy. You're in the comment section, always being constructive. Great read on totals in the NBA. I apologize, Reggie.
Shout out Eddie Oilers shouting out Aiden Hill. 6'6", third rounder. We talked about him.
Yes.
We talked about how he could be an elite goalie, and I still faded him. That was spectacularly bad NHL handicapping by myself. It's funny. I come off of a great read on the Senators-Rangers game, but that was a truly terrible read that I gave you guys. You just missing 2 of your top forwards, your best defenseman, and you're a huge favorite. It was a mistake, and we make mistakes, and we just got to be consciously aware when we make them and see what we did wrong and not make them again.
Yeah, well, I actually did have a good read. I took the first period under, and if I had been able to buy up to 6 at Pinnacle, which I wasn't able to do because they weren't offering it, I would have had the under 6.5. So I'm sorry, the under 6. So, it just wound up being the under 5.5, which cashed easily. Was in, again, another lean that cashed in NHL.
Mr. Gokster says, by the way, I'll ask my old man what makes ice great. Old men know these things.
They
old
do.
men knows these. Old men. And Mr. Gokster says he played Olympic hockey. I'll let him know. That's great. Okay, let's
All right,
get
and
to
one
work.
quick shout out. Alex Everly says, guys, I'm in class wearing a hoodie to hide my headphones just to listen.
Look
Shout
at
out
that.
to you,
Really?
Alex
Really?
Everly. Yes.
Oh, that's so
what
dope.
Alex Everly said.
Alex, respect, much love. Let's get you paid.
Yeah. All right, so I guess that is it. Let's move on. Let's start with NHL here.
Yes.
Jimmy the Bag, NHL.
Let's see you if you're at your high water mark.
I'm at my high water mark in NHL. I'm just shy of 30 units, which is very, very nice. Yeah, I had a big winning day yesterday, and yesterday it would even be even bigger if I had put on my leans. The Arizona Nashville full game under, the Rangers full game, the Rangers team total under, and my leans are up about 50 units individually. So if I had given all my leans the entire season long, it would be up like 90 units. In today's card in NHL, it's I'm not exactly sure what I think about this one. It's a little bit tough. I guess let's start with Colorado.
I see it pretty clearly. I see this is a pretty
Colorado's
clear
a no-brainer play.
This reminds me of a big turning point I had last year. This card just is screaming at it. The one spot I'm uncomfortable and we need to cap together is the Sabres Panthers. But other than that, I'm seeing these home teams winning. On this Friday night, I'm seeing these home teams winning. Let's take a look at Adam Ross. Look at that. Calgary -1.5, Colorado -1.5, Washington -1.5, and Colorado St. Louis under 6. Book it and low bag it. Book it and low bag it is nice, Adam. But those
nice.
3 home favorites, I am seeing as well, Adam Ross. So let's break this down. Which game did you want to start with?
Hold on one second. Let's start with the Colorado game. Colorado obviously has been awesome. St. Louis obviously having serious issues.
Have you guys seen how good Samuel Girard is playing right now? They got him in the Duchesne trade from Ottawa. They're missing Tyson Barrie. This kid is going to be well. He already is so good. He already is so good, and now he's getting that he's got the puck on the power play, because usually that's the thing that Tyson Barrie has. This kid looks really, really good. St. Louis has lost 2 in a row, and 7 of its last 10. 4 of those losses coming with Alexander Steen out with an injury. So the captain comes back, and Berube plays him on the 4th line. And that concerns me.
Mm-hmm.
He's sending a message to him, but you're also sort of sending a message to the dressing room. It's a confusing spot for him to put the captain in. Blues are interested in trading for Jimmy Howard. It's all over the press. It's all over everywhere. Jake Allen's reading all about it. Jake Allen knows he's not wanted. St. Louis cut Nikita Soshnikov. He was an ex-Leaf, ex-Marley. He looked good in the Marlies. Never could make it in the NHL. He's a sniper. Somebody will grab him. And they're bringing up Robert Bortuzzo. He's missed the last 5 games. They're activating him. Friday's also going to be the reunion for Ryan O'Reilly. Getting O'Reilly and Duchesne out of that Colorado Avalanche dressing room is what has turned the corner for them. Burnaby Joe knew that and got them out of the dressing room. Ryan O'Reilly, drunk driving, drove into a Tim Hortons 2 years ago in the summer. In the offseason, drove into a Tim Hortons, was driving, and abandoned the car and ran away. And he had the right lawyers to get him off of that. This guy does not have character. Either does Duchesne. Schwartz remains out of the lineup for the Blues. Avalanche have won 6 straight. You know what Sully, the coach of the Penguins, said? He said it's the best line he's seen this season, being Landeskog, Matt Rantanen, and McKinnon. Trio combined for 8 of Colorado's 16 points. They are unstoppable. Yes, I'm taking the Avalanche -1.5. And also, this was a Freddie Fortune play yesterday. At plus 167, yeah, bring me in.
Yeah, all right, and I guess I have to go on Colorado -1 as well. If it wins, I'm going to be like, what am I doing? Sitting here overthinking myself. If it loses, I'll be like, okay, I understand. It might have been a little bit of a sucker play, a little obvious, but I got to take it. So Jim's going to take Colorado, and that will be plus 170 at the Greek.
Plus 170, thank you. Just sorry to interrupt, but Jim Rummy, I really want to hear your read on this Flame spot. You've had a good read on them lately. I wonder if you think this is too big of a favorite spot, if you think the Kings on the back-to-back. Why don't we go into that game right now? Do you mind?
Okay, yeah. So Jim's going to get Colorado puck line plus 170, and I'm taking Colorado -1. The money line is -160, and so that will put it at almost even money for me, Colorado -1. If it loses, that's okay, but it's a no-brainer play. All right, so the Calgary game is what we want to talk about right now.
We do want to talk about. I'd love to hear what you think of this, Jim Rummy, because I see this as Calvin Peterson knowing that Quick is back. Maybe I just feel like the 2.46 goals against average, .927 save percentage, it's not a real representation of what kind of goalie he is. I think that Mike Smith. So we have a very interesting goaltending situation here with Peterson and Smith. Please let me know if I'm on the wrong side. Donald Trump just joined us, which is nice to see. Calgary coach Bill Peters said Mike Smith was outstanding in practice. He's going to start tonight. He's coming off a good game in Phoenix. I started thinking this morning about this spot that Mike Smith is in, and my guess, and I could be wrong here, my guess is he starts playing very well and takes that job back from Riddick. I really think that he's going to take that spot back, and if he doesn't, he's going to lose it for the rest of the season. This is very important for him. He always talks about how he's playing in practice. He's done that his whole career. He always says that's what transfers over. He says, I'm playing very good in practice. His coach said I'm playing very good in practice. Flames coming off 4-3 overtime loss at the Stars on Wednesday night. Keep an eye out if Jim Rummy mentions anything here.
Okay, I will check.
Or was he just muted? So Frolik's out, Stone and Juuso Valimaki are out for the Flames there. Defenseman, bottom pair defenseman. It's not too big of a deal. Frolik does play. Gate Pass Key says Smith makes me nervous. Ganja Gamer says Riddick is better. I've said that all year, but I also believe in the aging goaltender. I believe in him. And maybe it's a mistake, but I believe now his job is about to be taken away from him. Maybe his opportunity to play in the NHL. And I think that people like that step up often, over 54% of the time. Dustin Brown and Jeff Carter scored for LA. They lost that game with 2:20 remaining in the third period, but with a Clefbaum goal there on the second half of Kings of a back-to-back. Jeff Carter made an appearance. They're still missing Hagelin, Lewis, Brodzinski. Here's Jim Rummy. There's value on Flames at opening -180 because the line is too high. There's value. Is he saying there's no? It's not that tempting for me. Flames are fine if you want to pay for it. Good luck.
I mean, this line exploded. It opened at 180. It's now up to the best line would be -200 at Intertops, but just a massive move in favor of Calgary. I did have the LA Kings team total under yesterday, which was not looking good at first, but then of course did cash. And I'm just not exactly sure what to make of them here. Are they once again in a spot where they're just going to be dead, no energy, all of that? What do you think?
I'm taking the Flames on the puck line. I don't care that there won't be. How big is it? What am I getting?
Let's see. 124 at 135 at Intertops. Interesting. So we can give you the Intertops line. Calgary puck line plus 135. That is the current line at Intertops. It opened at 153, Jimmy the Bag. 153, Jimmy the Bag. That line.
We want to talk about a line movement mistake. We got to go to NBA. My God, breaking down that Thunder Hawks game. So I made two plays. I was going to make 2 plays on totals. The first one I made, the under in the Celtics game, and beat that line movement by a couple points. The next move, I was like, you know what? And I went over the line movement of the last few hours. I was like, I don't need to force this over in Thunder Hawks. It's gone up now 5 points since I didn't make it.
Really?
And after 2.5 hours, it had gone up 3.5 points, and I was angry. I was like, fuck it. Excuse me, but I'm not going to be on that line. I don't want to be on that.
Okay, we will talk about it because I was thinking under in the Thunder Hawks game.
No way.
Right. Wow, we'll talk about that.
Trey coming back to the. He grew up 20 miles from Chesapeake. He's going to go off. They're going to Kemba. We'll
talk about it. All right, so Jim's taking Calgary. The line is headed down, but we can still give him plus 135 on the Intertops line. And so you think that even at this line, but so who is starting? It's not Rittich, though. It's right. It's Mike Smith. And then in goal for Kings, it's going to be Peterson, right?
Yes.
What do you think about the over in this one? Is it just?
I still don't think you can trust the Kings offensively.
Not at all, huh?
But if you're thinking, it depends what you're thinking. So I'm saying Mike Smith's going to have a really nice game. If you're thinking Mike Smith is a sieve and he's going to lose his job, then the over is definitely in play.
Yeah,
because the Flames will score.
The Flames will score. And the Kings' offense is, because they have had some games recently where they
Kate Pasquet says, I'm riding the Ducks on the mom strip, still in play. It's not in play. The moms all just left. and they're questioning the hockey gods. Look at this. Look at this. Where is this? Oh, sorry, that's the Ducks game we haven't got to. It's not in play anymore. And Nick Shore said, my mom's good luck. What can I say? My mom's good luck. They're challenging the hockey gods. Nick Shore's going to be asking to have his mom at all his games soon. It's not in play. Very important, Gate Pasquet. It's not in play.
You want to talk about that game?
Yes.
Anaheim, Carolina. Anaheim, of course, off of 2 nice big dog wins. Carolina, though, also won 4 out of their last 5. And I am wondering about Anaheim offensively. Maybe Anaheim team total under. What do you think?
Sure. Yeah? McElhaney's a beast. I talked about that. Yeah. This is his chance as a veteran goalie. These are the kind of goalies that teams will come together when they start stepping up. I'm telling you, this guy's earned everything that he's done. Wow, Nick Dial like in Northern Illinois. Scotty Rock forever on Flames puck line, Avs puck line, Ducks money line, Buffalo money line. I am on the Hurricanes -1.5. The Ducks are the hockey. Don't mess with the hockey gods, and that's what you're doing. Saying I need my mom here. I need my mom here. Well, they're not saying that, but they're about to. Ducks have won 4 of their last 5 games.
And this is a down spot for them, huh?
I do. Ducks have handled the loss of Fowler and Lindholm unbelievably well. How can that possibly keep going? It just can't. Hurricanes release Scott Darling. McElhaney's the man. He made 48 saves in Montreal. Ferland is out with a concussion. That's a big deal. He's a forward with grit, and they don't have a lot of them. I mean, they do have Stahl, a big center with grit, and they have some rookies coming up who are playing that I had to study that I didn't even know about, and not the Shevchenkos of the world. And so, but Ferland gives them a lot of toughness, and he's out of the lineup now. That's too bad, but man, I'm telling you, I'm on the Hurricanes -1.5.
All right, that'll be plus 150, and I'm thinking about the Anaheim team total under. Anaheim might get shut down
Mr.
here, right?
Goetzer says play of the day.
Is what?
Hurricanes.
Is Hurricanes. Yeah. And what do you think? What's your take on...
Bookie Lover Q saying anyone else loving the under in this game?
On Anaheim, yes. I was just about to ask about the Anaheim team total under. What do you think about them offensively right now?
Well, we talk about them every single show.
And
we did all the quotes from Randy Carlyle yesterday, so we don't need to rehash all that. Right. But they're not going to win games 5-3 or 4-2 ever. And if they do, they've made it to 3 late and they've scored an empty
with Anaheim. I thought that was Edmonton that we were talking about. No, that
was Randy Carlyle, the coach of the Ducks. Randy Carlyle saying we are going to win games 2-1 and 1-0 and all that stuff. That was
all right. I'm going to take Anaheim team total under 2.5 -131. That's the current line at Pinnacle. Jim's taking Carolina puck line plus 150, and I might yet join you on. I might say the jury's still out. I might join you on Carolina here. Mr. Goetzer labels it play of the day, huh?
Wally George saying, Jimmy, do you like betting puck line parlays? Or I do like them, and I used to do them all the time. I'm not doing them right now. If I would do parlays, I would cut my bets down. And it might be something I do recreationally when I'm away from you guys, but when I'm with you guys, I just don't know if it's the most responsible stuff to give to you guys.
All right, I'm going to take Carolina -1. I'm going to join you there. The money line will be -180 at Bookmaker and Intertops. Puck line plus 150, so that's a small favorite line. And I'm going to double up with Anaheim team total under 2.5
A lot of guys talking
-131.
about the Anaheim games against the Canes historically going over. I really think I don't take too much into that. This is a much different Hurricanes team Corsi numbers through the roof, out shooting everybody. This is a Ducks team that's totally different than the one we remember with Corey Perry and the leading scorer of the Ducks is Getzlaf with 6 goals. 6 goals on the season. I don't take too much into it.
All right. Yeah, this is one game where I'm thinking about taking the Carolina. I usually don't do -1.5. I usually just do -1, but this one is the one I'm tempted to take 1.5. I'll just stick with the -1 for now, but I might be leaving a half unit on the table there. All right, let's talk about it. Go ahead, Jim.
Let's get to the Capitals quickly. I'm taking the Capitals -1.5 against the Devils. I expect Kincaid to be in goal. Schneider's been just terrible. Some places have Schneider up, but I really think that's just laziness because what's up?
Theodore McIntyre says Carolina's sloppy defensively. I don't trust them to keep Anaheim from scoring. Is that true? Are they sloppy defensively?
I don't. It wouldn't matter if the Ducks, and I'm not joking here, if the Ducks were playing an AHL team, they might beat them 4-2 or 3-1, 3-0, 3-0 or 4. This is just not a team that's going to do that. It's just not.
Okay.
All right. What are they overall this year in goals?
Yeah, no, that's okay. I just wanted to ask a quick
30.
question.
They average 2.22 goals a game.
I just wanted to ask a quick question. All right, so go ahead, Jim.
Capitals going for their 7th straight win, getting Kuznetsov back. This used to be a spot I'd be a little uncomfortable with a stud coming back to a winning streak. We saw what Austin Matthews did when I was like, well, maybe he'll make them discombobulated. That was so wrong. He came on and he's an incredible player, just like Kuznetsov. Oshie has not resumed skating with his concussion. Ovechkin missed Thursday's practice. Don't worry about it. He's fine. Capitals have outscored the teams 24-13 on this run. Their penalty killing has stepped up. Man, I'm telling you, we know that they have a nice power play, 4th in the league. But if their penalty killing starts rolling, they're going to run away with the Met. Their penalty killing is rolling right now. They've killed off 13 straight penalties. They've allowed no power play goals in the last 4 games. Devils have lost 3 straight, and they're well rested. That's the only uncomfort thing here. They haven't played since Monday. They're bringing up Michael McLeod, and it was a loss in overtime in Florida. They're bringing up Michael McLeod. He was their 2016 first-round pick, like 12th overall or something like that. 3 goals, 7 assists in 21 games with Binghamton. He played 4 years with the Mississauga Steelheads in the OHL. He's tall. He's never really exploded offensively, but he's got the skill set to play in the NHL. I'm not sure if he'll ever be a top 6 forward, but he may give this team spark. Another guy who will give this team spark is Marcus Johansson. Looks like he'll be coming back. He missed the Devils game against Panthers on Monday with a lower body injury. The only comfort here, and Barry Cohen says, Devils fan here, don't take them. My only little bit of uncomfort is they're really well rested, the Devils, but I'm going to take the Capitals -1.5.
All right, Caps -1.5. I'm just copying and pasting some comments I'd like to refer to later on in this show. Caps -1.5 plus 171 at Pinnacle. So Jim's going to take Washington puck line plus 171. Plus 171. That's the
Adam Frendo Cumbo joining us. We shouted you out early in the show. Great work yesterday.
Unreal call yesterday in a video. The guy gave out Dallas money line. Gave out a plus 300 dog or something like that in a video in a primetime game. Huge, big boy play from Adam Frendo. Huge, very impressive.
Jimmy Slivka liking Kincaid's confirmed on RotoWire. If you like the Devils, they're rested. They have Kincaid in goal, 9-12 save percentage, 2.72 goals against average. Pretty pedestrian numbers, but so much better than what Schneider's giving them. But Holtby at home, Holtby's numbers are improving. We know Holtby's historically great at home. This Capitals team is rolling. I'll take the plus 171.
Okay, and what about the under for the
Kate
Washington?
Pasquet letting us know that McLeod is from the McLeod clan of Inverness, Scotland. Sorry, keep going.
Very nice, very nice. What about the under in the Washington's scoring a lot though, but who's it's Kincaid, right?
Kincaid versus Holtby. And I don't think I would trust the under here unless you. What is that?
It's 5.5, but you could buy it at 6 at. There is 6. There is 6s. There's 6 minus 120.
In fact,
yeah, you like the over?
Yeah, in fact, I think I'll take the over 5.5 here, and I will.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that was unexpected. We can give you 5.5 minus 120 at the Greek. You want that one?
Yes, I do.
All right, Jim's going to take all of a sudden out of nowhere. New Jersey, Washington over 5.5 minus.
Kevin K says Devils over 5.5 locked in.
Wow.
Barcelona, New Jersey Capitals over is 4-1 in the last 5 meetings. Red Girl, Washington over 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but we got a big.
All right, let's go. Maybe I'll tell you on this one. Maybe I'll take the first period over. Is that it? Do we hit it? Oh no, Florida Buffalo.
Very tricky spot.
Yeah.
Very tricky spot. I would love to back the Panthers here. Would love to. But I can't do it. Sabres on the second half of a back-to-back. They're too big of a favorite spot here. And you might be wondering, why are they such a big favorite spot? Bad news in Buffalo. McCabe left the Lightning game with an injury day-to-day. Marco Scandella didn't play unexpectedly last night. So those are 2 of their top 6. Not either of their 1-2, because we know who that is. Dahlin, who's been incredible, and Ristolainen, who's been incredible. But that's a big loss, and that's the reason they're on the back-to-back without these 2 defensemen, and that's why the line is the way it is. Remember, the Sabres have won 7 of their 10 games in overtime. There was times last year where teams had won overtime games. There was a Blues specifically. Remember, they'd won 6 straight games in overtime. They were going into Chicago. Chicago was plus 150 at home dog, and Chicago won that game 5-1. It's a suspicious thing when you keep winning games in overtime or a shootout.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of variance in all sports, especially in lower scoring games like hockey, especially in games when you have youngsters like college basketball, and a team can string together a technical winning streak that looks a lot better than it actually might have been, right?
Yeah, definitely. And Ganja Gamer says, Sabres are rolling heavy. Mr. Gokser says, Buff will struggle versus fast teams. Bartender B, love caps over. This is a spot that I'm going to stay off.
Wait, who struggles against bad teams? Buffalo, right.
Buffalo, and that's interesting. But I mean, they're missing Connor Sheary as well, who's a speedster. God, Dolan's playing very, very well. He says we want to change this together. I love that stuff. Carter Hutton giving them hope in the dressing room. Skinner with 19 goals. Eichel with 25 assists. This is a good hockey team, but an uncomfortable spot.
In the meantime, we are going to acknowledge Adam Ross here. Adam Ross here, loving Colorado first period. Saying, Jimmy, take Colorado first period minus a half at plus 150. If I'm wrong, I send you a new pair of Oakleys in the box. Adam Ross loving a big dog play here. Colorado first period minus a half. I could see that as well.
What do you get for that?
Well, plus 150 on the minus a half, but then they got to win it. So if it's 0-0 or 1-1, you don't get your money back. But I could see Colorado just on the first period line being worth a play anyway.
It's a great play. I like it, but I'm not going to double up here. And I want you to sell Oakleys for cash and put that money in your pocket.
Right.
I don't want you to give me anything. But I get it, but I'm not going to. Scotty Rock saying we need to talk about that Dubs-Raps game last night. Absolutely, God, it was spectacular.
Colorado is great, though, aren't they? And St. Louis is just
They're great, and I got their over-under season total at 86.5 points.
All right, you know what? I'll trust Adam Ross here. I got a few units here. I'm going to take Colorado first period, not on the minus a half line. I'm just going to take them on the money line, minus 141. That's the current line of Pinnacle. That's not that bad. I mean, their first line is going to come out on fire in this game, probably.
Frank Gonzalez says best bet in NHL today. I guess it would be fading the Ducks with their mommies gone.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it would be that. But what I would do is I'd split a unit into 4, and I would take those 4 home favorites. I would take them all.
Yeah, I would have to say Carolina -1 because Anaheim questionable on offense, McElhinney in goal, right? Carolina also has a nice offensive game themselves, right?
McElhinney's dreamed of this opportunity his whole entire life, and he's earned it.
And how is Carolina on their offense? They put up great.
Their Corsi numbers are through the roof.
So that's what I would say. I would agree with Jim. I would say Carolina. I'm taking them -1 just because that's what I do. So for me, it's a small favorite line. Jim's taking them on the puck line at plus 150. I am tailing our boy Adam Ross. I'm going to take Colorado first period money line minus 141. Maybe the Carolina money line. Although no, that would be a big line there. Hold on, let me see what that would be.
We really got to get to NBA.
All right, that's it. We will talk about NHL a little bit more in the afternoon. Just to review all the picks, just so people know. Washington puck. This is your Jimmy the Bags picks. Washington puck line, Colorado puck line, Calgary puck line, and Carolina puck line. And Jim also took New Jersey, Washington over 5.5. I am taking Colorado -1, Carolina -1, Colorado first period money line -141, and Anaheim team total under 2.5 -131. Thinking about going on some overs in New Jersey, Washington as well. Maybe the first period over in that one, and maybe adding on some other stuff. But yeah, let's move on to an NBA.
Look at their highest shot total team versus lowest shot total team.
Right.
Perfect. Okay, let's roll.
Okay, so
getting started. Let's see who cares? We don't have time.
Yeah.
I have the Celtics under. I made that play a couple hours ago. I got 208. This is going. Let me break this game down and tell you why I like it. I hope you looked at it on Twitter because that was the spot. I have learned something. I'm taking sides, yes. If you want to take totals, you wake up early in the morning and you cap these games before 7 a.m. because it was a huge error that I'm not going to make again. From now on, I will only make totals at 6 or 7 in the morning after I've capped the games. I won't make them later in the day unless I'm really pushed into a spot. There's clear advantages at that time. I think there's an advantage. From 8:05 to 10:30 Eastern time, the Hawks Thunder went up 3.5 points. It's now up, it was 4.5 before the game started. I'm sure it's up.
It's now up to 229 or 229.5. Again, though, especially in the NBA with totals, you do see a lot of U-shaped line movement. So you see stuff that'll come back the other way. I'm not saying this one will, but I'm just saying you do see that. You know what I mean?
We talked a lot about being on the ass end of these totals, and that's a choice that you have to make. At 2 points, it's not really the ass end. At 3.5, that's what I use 2 as my limit. That's what I've been doing. 2 points. If it's 2.5 or more, I feel like I'm on the ass end. I might make it with 2.5, maybe gray area. 3 or more, I'm just like, you know what? I missed this. I made a mistake. I'll let it go. I'm on the under here. Wednesday, Cleveland traded Kyle Korver to the Jazz for Alec Burks. Burks averaging 8.4 points per game. He's shooting 37.2%. They're coming off that 180 or from three. They're coming off that 183 loss in Oklahoma City Wednesday night. They have lost 2 straight since wins over the Rockets and Sixers. George Hill still dealing with that shoulder injury. He's actually questionable to return. David Nwaba, who gives them defense, out with a knee injury. Decker and Love still out. Celtics coming off that big 124-107 win at New Orleans. This plays all about the Celtics. Al Horford, Jaylen Brown are out against the Cavs. Baines and Morris are in. Marcus Smart called out the team for not being tough, for being an easy team to play against. The team responded. Marcus Smart was the catalyst on both sides of the ball. With him on the court, Irving could play off the ball at times for a break on offense, and they were able to take turns on Drew Holiday. It was very, very, very important. It was all about Marcus Smart, and Irving went off about how important Marcus Smart was to the team. Without Horford and Brown, there will be less finesse. There will be more crash and bang. It's the front end of a back-to-back on Saturday, which means Stevens will spread the minutes out judiciously with a focus on keeping Irving's minutes low. I'm on the under, and I got 208, and I got that at minus 110.
So you tweeted it out, right?
I did, yeah.
That's the Boston game under 208 minus 110. Okay, let's talk about the other play you tweeted out, Jim.
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't.
That was a big mistake. That was
a
a terrible error. Let's talk about plays I want to make. I am taking the Charlotte Hornets here tonight. Utah.
Yeah. Why was this line so low? I didn't understand it at all.
The Jazz are just a tricky spot. Gas Station Sushi says, why not bet the totals in the overnight? You're right, Gas Station Sushi, and I just have a schedule and a system I've been using for these shows.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to keep my sanity, and I'm also trying to rest and figure out how to do that. And I'm going to sleep as early as I possibly can during the week because I'm waking up as early as possible. That does a couple things for me. One, I feel like I make much clearer decisions in the morning. And two, when I look at the plays and I look at the lines, I'm very interested to see right when I wake up what the lines are. It helps me make decisions. And that's why I've been staying away from overnight lines, because I would have jumped on Freddie's overnight play yesterday. Freddie's play on the Avalanche minus 1.5. I would have jumped on that immediately. But at all times, I don't want to make quick decisions. I want to sit on everything as long as possible. And that's just
good advice. Know thyself. Know when you do your best work. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Never go all in. Never go all in. And yeah, all right, let's see. Know thyself. Most important thing. All right, Jim.
Ski Prophet says, let's go, Jimmy. Love the Hornets. It's the Jazz. And if the Jazz win tonight, I'm just going to stop gambling on any Jazz game because I don't know what's going on. I can't figure it out. They hope to have Kyle Korver available. The team with the best record in the second half of last season is 10-12, and they're hoping that 37-year-old Kyle Korver is going to be available because they can't hit threes. He's made 46.3% of his three-point shots. I don't know what number I gave there. I think that was a mistake. I was talking about Alec Burks. Okay, sorry. I was talking about Burks' three-point shots. Korver's made... Where's that? Sorry. 46.3% of his three shots. Utah ranks 23rd in the league and 23rd in the league in made three-pointers, 28th in three-point field goal percentage, 23rd in three-pointers per game, and 28th, as I just said, in three-point percentage at 31.9. Jazz are coming off that 101-91 win at Brooklyn, second game of a three-game trip. Charlotte has beaten Utah 4 in a row at home. For whatever reason, they've been able to hold this team down in scoring. 86 and 119 one game. That was double overtime, and 98 and 88. Hornets are coming off that 108-94 win over Atlanta. Cody Zeller went for 19 in 23 minutes. I know why Borrego likes him. I like him a lot. I loved last year with the Charlotte Hornets before he got hurt. Remember, he was out most of the second half of the year. That when they would use him and not play Howard, he's faster than people expect, and he does a lot of things. He hustles. He went 19 points and 23, but also 5 boards, 2 assists, 2 blocks from the Hawks. When they get from production from players other than Kemba Walker, they win. Jeremy Lamb put 22 in versus the Hawks. Hornets have opened up a 4-game homestand with 2 straight wins. This is the 3rd game of a 4-game homestand, which I love. I love that spot for a team. I'm on the Hornets full game, please.
Yeah, Donald Trump says Charlotte is an auto bet here, in my opinion. Just look at the traveling distances. When I looked at this game,
Red Girl says, I love Charlotte. Everybody jumping on Charlotte.
I just don't like it when I don't understand why the number is where it is, but we can give you want Charlotte here?
Yeah.
All right, you're going to take Charlotte -2, -103. That's the best line right now at Pinnacle. Yeah, I normally make my my NBA plays pregame in the late show. I had 2 more winners yesterday, Jim, but then I tweeted out 2 second-half losers, which I'm very frustrated about. I'm tempted to add on Charlotte here because I do think this line will get bet up. I think we're going to see at least 2.5 or 3 by the 6 o'clock show. And I don't normally do this, but I will go on with you. Charlotte -2, -103. If I decide that I don't like it in the afternoon show, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm winding up with an opportunity to take it back at 2.5 or 3, maybe even 3.5. The line just doesn't quite make sense to me, but I'll take it.
Some of these lines don't make sense to me. The Sixers being this, I think they should be a bigger favorite.
Let's move on to another game. What do you think?
The Sixers should be a bigger favorite, I think. Does that line make you question things? Because it makes me question things, but I don't care. I'm taking it.
Okay.
I'm on the Sixers tonight. Sixers have won 5 of 6, but they've not had an easy win with Butler in the lineup until they blasted the Knicks. And a lot of you guys said that would happen, and it helped me stay off the Knicks because they were like 14-point dogs, and you guys helped me stay off that. They've scored 117 or more in 5 of their last 6 games. Scotty Rock says first half under 104.5 for Cleveland. Boston is a great play as well. I feel you, but I'm going to I don't want to double up on games. I get very, very uncomfortable for me doing that, and I've stopped doing that almost all year. B-Boy M says, good advice, Pete. Never go all in. I'll say it again. Never go all in. That is from me, Peter Loshak, to you, everyone watching the show, and all low baggers. Okay, go ahead, Important, because there's times where you can be down half of a big chunk of cash that you wanted to work with, and you think, you know what I should do is I can get that back with this quick score. It's a mistake. Butler, Simmons, and Embiid are rolling together. The Sixers are getting nice production from TJ McConnell, who we've talked all about. We talked about how this team would be better with Fultz away from the team, and Landry Shamet. Washington got destroyed 125-104 at New Orleans. This is just a team that can't be trusted. They won 2 straight at home, but they can't be trusted, especially on the road. I expect them to lose badly here, and either trade Wall or fire Brook. They could lose by 25. Now, maybe... obviously you're saying that and it's not a for sure thing. Dwight Howard has had surgery recommended to take care of that ass pain. He's out indefinitely. I think the Wizards, are going to mail it in, and either Wall gets traded or Brooks gets fired. Okay, so you want Philly, huh? Yes. All right, so Philly, that'll be actually BetOnline does have a 7, so we can give you that one. We'll give you a Philly -7 -115, Philly -7 -115. Everywhere else is a 7.5. I could probably check Pinnacle to see. Maybe we can give you a 114 on that one, and I will do that for you right now, Jim. What else in NBA do you want to talk about? Well, let's start just going through the games as quickly as possible and see if we can hit them all. Bulls at Pistons. Pistons have won the first 3 games of a 6-game homestand, 7 of their last 9 games. This is a really nice time to back a team. Game 4 of a 6-game homestand. We've been repeating that over and over and over lately. Griffin said, I truly believe we've gotten better each week as the season has gone on. Remember, they started out last in the league in field goal percentage. Yeah, I knew it. We can give you 7 -114. That's buying a half point at Pinnacle. Great move. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Sure. Their arrested group coming off a 115-108 win over the Knicks on Tuesday and played since Tuesday. They're getting contributions up and down their lineup. Reserve scored 50 points against the Knicks, 47 against the Phoenix. Stanley Johnson put 21 in on Tuesday, and they're raving about his defense. Henry Ellison and Kennard remain injured. Griffin put 33 points up last time these teams met. It was a 118-116 victory. This is a different team, a well-rested team. Ron Lofton says nobody wants Wall's contract, in my opinion. I think you could massage something, but that's a very good point. Bulls have lost 8 of their last 9 and 4 straight. The last 2 have been tight, though. Lost to the Bucks by 3, lost to the Spurs on Wednesday, lost to the Spurs by 1 on Monday. And it's Archie Diacono. He's looked awesome. He's looked so good. 22 points in each of his last 2 games. Also, he's combined for 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 7 steals. Here's the big thing, just 2 turnovers. Responsible, active. Markkanen, Dunn, and Portis are all practicing. This will be a fun team to look. I'm looking forward to see what this team can do with everybody healthy. I said that about the Hawks. I'm saying the same thing about the Bulls. Okay, so what play do you want here? Trenton Claxton says Detroit half free money. I think the Pistons roll, but I don't know exactly what to do. What is the option at the half and the full game on the Pistons? On the Pistons? Yeah. Okay, so for the Pistons, it's 9.5 on the full game, and I'm assuming the first half would be about 5. 5, yeah. Yes. I agree with you. Trenton Claxton. I mean, I don't know if it's free money. But I agree with you. I think Detroit at the half, I think they come out and smash early. It worked. Remember I was saying the last couple days ago that every single one of my first halves that have cashed, the full game is cashed too, and not the last 2 in a row. Finally, it's starting to come back. Not the Hawks, that cash, and not the Raptors. I'm going to take the Pistons first half of my man Trenton Claxton. All right, you want that one? So we can give you 5. Going to have to take 112, though. Is that okay? That's fine. And interesting here, people talking about the over. Calvin Davis saying the over in this Bulls game. What is the total at?
in the Bulls game.
I just can't trust the Bulls offense. Maybe the Pistons team total over would be
about 216.5 or 217. Because I was thinking about the Bulls team total over, though.
Capper John says, where is Dan Kelly at? Dan Kelly is listening, and he's doing very important work right now. And if we hear it at the end of the show, that'll be wonderful. If we hear it on the late show, that will be fine too. Dan Kelly's doing very important work, Capper John.
Do we know that for a fact that he's listening right now?
I am just guessing.
Okay,
but I think it's a pretty safe guess.
Okay. I'll check his Twitter to see if he's tweeted anything out here.
Okay, let's keep rolling along. Grizzlies at Nets. Oh, yeah, so that the total I can completely understand. But this Bulls offense disappears at times.
Do they? Because I was thinking Bulls team total over. I mean, I know they disappear at times, but I was thinking...
Scotty rocks on the first half Pistons too. I think the Pistons are believing in themselves. They're believing in their defense. They're getting contributions from everybody. I'd much rather just take Pistons to smash early. Okay, let's roll. Let's roll here. Grizzlies at Nets. Grizzlies have lost 3 straight, coming off 122-114 home loss to the Raptors. Saw them blow a 17-point lead. Get outscored 29-17 fourth quarter. They were up 76-59 with 10 minutes left in the third. Outscored 63-38 the rest of the way. My first thought was, wow, Conley must be getting tired. But I went over his numbers, and he's not.
Okay.
He's had a couple bad games in a row shooting, but that happens. 3 games ago, he went 7 for 11 from 3. I'm waiting for Conley to get tired after missing almost all of last year, but I don't think that's the reason why this is happening. When they opened up the year, they won 12 of their first 15. They were allowing 99.6 points per game. In their last 3 losses, they've allowed 108.6. So that's the whole team. That's the whole team not playing well. But Marc Gasol is playing awesome. But he's got 27 points in 3 straight games, and he's going up against a team where Jared Allen's just being torched by Gobert and Embiid in back-to-back nights. Will Gasol do the same? That's questionable right now because Gasol has an ankle injury. Tomor says good spot for Memphis. Their losses have been mostly to good teams. I think they're fine. I'd lean Memphis. I agree. I don't think we should get overwhelmed by their last 3 games. And if Gasol is healthy, which we'll have to see, then he's going to shit all over Jared Allen. Now, I know that and I don't mean to put Jared Allen down. He's just not the right guy for some of these bigs. They bully him down low. And then he tries to run outside and hit threes. And it's hard to do that against the smarter guys. On Wednesday, the Nets shot a season worst 34.9% and had just 11 assists. What the hell is Russell doing? That's the lowest since Kenny Atkinson took over. 11 assists, that's just terrible. Nets have lost 5 straight. They're 2-6 since LeVert dislocated his foot. I guess I agree with these guys. Now, I'm going to wait till I know for sure that Marc Gasol is in the lineup. I expect him to be. Do any of you guys know? If Marc Gasol was in the lineup, I would jump on it.
Yeah, I'm looking at some great comments coming in. People agreeing with your Philly pick. Brant Hunt says Washington is a dumpster fire. A lot of interesting comments here coming in.
Yeah, I might make a move on the Grizzlies. I'm going to put a question right there. Let's see. Nutflush Allen says, Junior, I'm telling you the Hawks games with big plus numbers, the first halves are great bets, but I'm telling you they will fade in the fourth quarter. It's a way to gracefully lose. Knicks also. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And it might be time to throw in that Hawks first half and whoever they're playing second half. It might be time for those big scores. Pelicans at Heat. I'm going to wait on that Grizzly spot, but jump in at any time you want to jump in. Heat have lost 6 straight home games. Now Goran Dragic missed the last 5 games with a knee injury. He's been practicing. It looks like he will be ready to roll. Oh, no.
What's going on?
No, they signed Joakim Noah's old ass. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. That's not going to help. Johnson will remain out. He's been out for the last 4 games, but Dragic was at practice. He may play tonight. He's going to be just a huge difference maker. This team's look terrible, absolutely terrible, without a point guard. And it's not the fact that the Heat are bad, but you take off your 2 best point guards, you're going to be in trouble no matter what. Drew Holiday coming off a great game where he got to play off the ball. And that's what he wants to do. He keeps saying that. He wants to play off the ball. Anthony Davis even said that he's not a point guard and all this stuff in comments. But Tim Frazier played the point, looked good, 12 points, 12 assists. Alfred Payton and Frank Jackson are both out, so Tim Frazier will be all over the place. Drew will go off. I definitely need to hear what's going on. The Ski Prophet says lean Pelicans and the Thunder. And Jansen Bonson's back. Am I visible in the chat?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Oh,
Jansen
God.
Bonson.
Shout out to Jansen Bonson. We did address it. We did address this in the beginning of the show. We had a hack going on, and a lot of people apparently got muted. It was not that we were ignoring your comments. It was that we weren't seeing them. And I would hope at this point, people would know that Jimmy the Bag and I absolutely 100% love the the comments that come in. If it was up to us, we would read and address every single one of them literally. So we would never, ever, ever, ever intentionally ignore any comments. We would only not address comments if we don't have time, or once in a while if there's some hacking going on, the channel gets hacked. But yes, shout out to Jansen Bonzone, and everyone should know that there was a hack, and that is why we didn't acknowledge some of the comments that might have come in yesterday.
Thank you. We talked a little bit about this Hawks Thunder move. Big mistake, and I'm not going to let it happen again. From now on, if I'm making totals plays, unless I'm talked into something from the chat, which can happen when you work with guys like Dan Kelly and numbers guys, but I'm only going to bring my total. I'm not going to be afraid to make totals. They're only coming in at 7 in the morning, and I will explain them to you, everybody, when I come in. It was a huge, and I'm not going to trust that no move has happened. If I see something, how many other people are seeing it? Trae Young grew up 20 miles from Chesapeake. We talked about that. After snapping their 10-game losing streak, Hawks have won 2 of 3. And Bazemore, this is what Bazemore said. Bazemore said, at some point, listen to this. Bazemore, at some point, the weakness of man is the ability to not communicate. We got a lot of things off our chest, coaches and players alike. The weakness of man is the ability to not communicate.
Bazemore said that. Yeah. Wow. Yes.
Bazemore was moved out of the starting lineup too, and he's exploded there. I like this guy. Averaging 13.3 points per game off of the bench. Dwayne Dedman listed as probable with ankle soreness. Jeremy Lin questionable with ankle soreness as well. It's the first game against the Hawks for Dennis Schroeder. Is he going to go off on them? He fits in very well with Westbrook and George. He now understands. He's watching these guys like Kemba, like Drew Holiday going off the ball. And he's seeing it, and he's doing the same thing. In Atlanta, he had the ball in his hands all game, and now he's understanding he can be so dangerous off the ball, and he's doing that right now. Oklahoma comes in having won 13 of their last 16, still missing Ferguson and Diallo, so you see a lot of Schroeder and Abrinas. I wonder, are the Thunder just going to roll here? Are they just going to roll? But they're big favorites, and I missed the opportunity on the over.
Okay.
You know, these things happen. Everyone's saying, just saw a canceled sports bit. We don't know what to say. None of this stuff is letting us know. We don't know what's the shows that are, and so we're just
doing the best that we can with what we are able to do.
Thank you.
That's what we do here.
What would I get? Thunder full game. I'm not going to take the ass end of this total.
And a lot of people are like, but wait a minute. Loshak owns SBR. He owns SBR, and he doesn't know that Sportsbit was canceled. I don't own SBR. What? I don't own SBR.
You don't own SBR?
No.
How did I get this job?
Yes, I am second lowest on the totem pole. Second lowest on the totem pole here at SBR. Only one person lower than me on the totem pole in the entire company, and it's
amazing. It's amazing. Larry and Freddie are above us, but you know, we handle it the way they handle it. Okay.
And then people say, "But Loshak, you're so smart. No one cares. No one cares. No one cares." Yes, I do not own SBR.
They are shocked.
Yes. All right.
That you are doing this. They are shocked. They're appalled that you would do this show twice a day with this kind of smart.
All right. So
what would I get? Thunder full game.
Thunder full game. Let me find the line here for you, Jimmy the Bag. Jimmy the Bag. OKC Thunder on the total now. No. Just 7.5. No movement on this one.
7.5 full game?
Oh, no, sorry. First half. 13.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I want to take that,
13,
but I think the Thunder smash. Maybe they smash first quarter, but I don't like those.
And
OG Johnson says, Jimmy, so you bet UK horse racing? Big hurdles races tomorrow. I don't know, OG Johnson. I have a difficult time getting the proper information. So I need to study, and we're hammering, OG Johnson, everybody. I have to put in, we are hammering the Delmar card together tomorrow. There's a contest, a free contest at SBR Forum, $100 to the winner. All you have to do is put in who you think is going to win the race. And you get, if you beat me, you get 200 bet points. But we are going to be capping every single race together on the forum. And I can't wait to tell you guys how it goes. Because my expectations with all these guys capping each race together, that I have a very nice, profitable day. I will be tweeting out all my bets that I'll be making on my account, and we will see if that's true. I'm very, very interested. Scotty Rock Forever says, yes, Thunder do smash. I'm going to have to keep rolling on this. I just think it's a ton of points.
We got to get to college basketball, and I'm actually
college football.
I'm actually looking at some of the college basketball games as we speak. I'm doing my initial handicapping right now as we speak. That didn't have overnight lines. I'm looking at Marist and Brooklyn. That is a game that goes off at 2:30 Eastern time, which is very interesting. Sure. Jimmy the Bag, why don't you just all right? So I have no plays for NBA except for Charlotte -2. I might take that back in the afternoon show, but I do think the line is going to go up. The line doesn't make sense to me, so I'll take that one. Charlotte -2. That's my only play in NBA.
Did I have 3 minutes?
Jimmy has Charlotte -2, Boston under 208, and Detroit Pistons first half -5, and Philly -7. -114, and that's it. Any other plays you want to lock in? Because we do have to get to college basketball, college football. You have a few minutes, but we do want to get to college basketball and college football.
Yes, I just need 3 minutes here as quick as possible.
Sure.
Rockets at Spurs. Both teams coming under 500. Houston coming off that ugly 128-108 home loss, 4 straight loss. The question is, Chris Paul is expected to return to the lineup here, and Nene is questionable for the first time all year. We'll have to see how that plays out. If Chris Paul plays, is he going to take the team? Is he going to put them in the palm of his hands and take them to get them some wins? Are the Rockets a spot here to play tonight? The Spurs are just a bad basketball team. We've been talking quite a bit about that. They did end up 2-2 on that road trip, but that loss against Minnesota, I was all over Minnesota, 128-89. It just looks bad. They're 4-9 in their last 13. Donald Trump says, guys, San Antonio is a good play, by the way, in my opinion. I don't know if they're going to be at all moving forward this season. But we have to see. If Chris Paul doesn't play, maybe, but if Paul plays, we'll have to see. Magic at Suns, 4-17. Suns are up to the worst start in franchise history. Kokoskov, first season as head coach, so much has gone wrong. The way he handled Ayton's gone wrong. Now they're playing Booker at the point guard. They've waived Isaiah Cannon. They have all this offense and nothing else. And look what Ayton said. He said, I played like a rookie in that loss. He said, I really got thrown off by the big dude being Marjanovic. They dominated this game. And Montrezl Harrell, both those guys, 18 offensive boards for the Clippers. David Stewart says, yes, Pelicans are the bet. Do we just fade the Suns moving forward? DJ Warren questionable with an ankle sprain. Now, the Magic have lost 4 or 5 very close games. They're also, Aaron Gordon might still be out with the lower back, and Chris Paul says that he has small hands, Jim. Hate those guys. Just despise guys with small hands. Mavericks at Lakers. Mavs have won 3 in a row, 7 of 8, coming off that big win over Houston we just talked about. And they're getting so much from their bench. Unbelievable. So Reg hit me before that game and said, take the Mavericks, trust me. Devin Harris scores 20 off the bench. And he's the first guy in league history to go for at least 20 and 4 assists in 15 minutes or fewer off the bench. JJ Barea, first reserve in league history to go for 10 and 12 assists in 18 minutes or fewer. They outscored the reserves 44-22 last time they played LA. Maybe this is a really nice spot here. Carlisle says we have really good players, but the strength is some of its parts. Maybe this is the right spot to fade the Lakers. I'm going to have to spend a little more time on it. And then finally, we have the Nuggets-Blazers late game. Nuggets have won 4 straight. They're coming off that destruction of the Lakers at the Pepsi Center. Blazers are just squeaking by people, but Dame is starting to hit his shots. This is a completely healthy Portland group. Listen, want to hear what you guys have to say. Ski Profits on the under in the Lakers game. The under in the Lakers game, under 223. That might be a really nice spot. Melee Payless way like in Orlando first half. Reg saying that Warren is out. Chris Postal saying Mavs, Lakers over, cash it. So we got a difference in opinion. Ski Profit, Melee Payless way on the under. Other guys on the over. Eddie Oler says Lakers are 3-7-1 to the under at home. And under at home, under 6 in a row. Wow, interesting. Adam Ross says take the over in Denver, Portland. Red Girls tailing Ski. And Bartender B says, Loshak, you must like Marist. So let's get into college basketball. Because it already says we're there.
Okay, so you want to talk about college basketball here?
Sure.
Yeah, I was thinking about Marist. It is... let's see if there's any opinions coming in. Bartender B, Loshak, you like Marist? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what I think about that one. Marist is definitely the deeper team, right? So that means that presumably on a back-to-back they will have an advantage, and maybe late if Marist is down at the half, I will definitely be looking at taking Marist on the second half. Yes, I would have a vague lean to Marist, although LIU is definitely on the level of these MAAC teams. They already beat Fairfield as an underdog this year, so LIU can hang. Again, they're not as deep, and I would definitely be leaning Marist here, and probably be leaning Marist more strongly on the second half, and especially if they're down at the half. That's my take on this one. Marist is not a perfect team by any means, but they had a nice win yesterday, and they are deeper. So yes, I would be leaning Marist, but that's hesitantly
I'll get into some of these comments, but just to put a cap on the NBA stuff, very important. Comment by OG Johnson saying, like the Nuggets night, especially if Harris is back. Yes, we will find out if Harris is back right before game time, recovering from the ankle injury. they're going to decide after the shoot around today, probably any minute right now, decide that's a great call because then he says that matches up with Torrey Craig can check Lillard or do his best to check Lillard. I think that's a very good point, OG Johnson. That's something to look at. Going to what you're talking about, Pete, Reg on LIU, but Barry Cohen liking Marist and the over. I hope Max is still in the chat. Salty Dog liking LIU. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Theodore McIntosh took LIU +2, TC over to 146.
Okay.
Noli knows. Now, when you follow Noli knows very closely like I do, he's always on unders. Always on unders, loves the unders. Here he's leaning over in this Maris game. And going against what he wants to be betting. That makes me think that the over is a play.
Yeah, I mean it's not a total that's in the stratosphere, and of course these games in Ireland have been relatively high scoring. The Milwaukee Buffalo game had a very early start, and that one soared over. The SF Austin game just squeaked under the total, and then the Dartmouth Albany game is also relatively high scoring right now as we speak. I could see an over here for sure. Go ahead.
And here we go, Maxwell Smart. I like the over in Marist LIU.
Yeah,
there we go. And Mr. Gokster, first half under, second half over. Wow.
Really? In the LIU game?
Yeah. But Maxwell Smart coming in. I like the over in Marist LIU. Got to copy and paste that. Wow. That's very interesting. That's going to help a lot.
Yeah, the line has gotten bet down. As far as the games that did have overnight lines in college basketball, obviously Michigan State Rutgers is a very, very interesting game. I would be leaning Rutgers here, except I was hoping to get a little bit more points than just 8, but I would still be leaning Rutgers. Duquesne and Pittsburgh is interesting, and I was thinking
just a couple things on that Michigan Rutgers. Noli knows like in the over Michigan Rutgers at 134.5. Eddie Oler saying Rutgers has won 3 in a row. Under has gone 4 in a row.
Yeah, Rutgers has been very tight defensively.
And Tomor is on Rutgers at +8.5.
Yeah, I was thinking about Rutgers +8 or 8.5. I would be very hesitant taking the total. Obviously, Rutgers has been playing very strong defense, but they've been doing that against lesser teams. They're not going to be able to do that against Michigan State nearly as well. And I'm going to stay off the total, but if anything, I'd probably be leaning to the over. But I'll lean to Rutgers at +8. Duquesne and Pittsburgh, I was also thinking about an over on that one at about 141. And I did bet that one. And then Coastal Carolina against South Carolina, another interesting game. South Carolina is definitely having some problems. Of course, a lot of people were on Wofford, including myself, in their last game against Wofford. And I think it was Kobe Valentine or someone called for Wofford with the outright win on the money line. Of course, they did get it.
It was Kobe.
Yeah, and I would be thinking about a shot with the under here, actually. I'm not exactly sure how. I'd have to check some of the power rankings to see how closely Coastal Carolina can match up with South Carolina, but I would definitely be leaning under. And
we got a spot from Twatty.
Go ahead.
Nice. Barry Cohen asked for Barry Cohen what it is. Says Barry Cohen trying to figure out what Twatty's on with Pittsburgh, and Twatty comes in. The play is Pitt versus Duquesne over 141.5.
See, that's what I was thinking. I just said that before I saw any comments there. I was leaning over in the Pittsburgh Duquesne game. Definitely leaning under in the South Carolina game and some of the other games that had overnight lines. Let me just scan and refresh my memory what they were. I know Maxwell Smart said they liked the over in the Central Michigan TCU game, and that is, TCU has obviously been they've got some players back. They're doing very well offensively right now. Go ahead.
Just for good stuff, Mr. Gokster disagree with the Duquesne Pitt over.
Okay.
I like the under. Mr. Gokster going straight up with Twatty Latte.
Right.
Two beloved low baggers going head to head.
Yes, and that's about it. There were only
Maxwell Smart, Coastal Carolina under.
Right.
Pitt over. Rutgers, Michigan State under.
So Twate Latte and Maxwell Smart both liking the over in the Pittsburgh game.
But not our man Gokster from Belleville, Ontario. Belleville's finest.
I know though that Twate Latte and Maxwell Smart are like this. Is it possible there's an echo chamber going on, and like Maxwell Smart partially likes it because Twate likes it, and Twate likes it partially because Maxwell Smart likes
asshole.
What?
You asshole.
Okay. Right.
No, I hear you saying that. No, I don't think so. I think that they break, and I know how they break down games. I don't think that they're.
I mean, there's no way around it. Anything you think is going to influence what I think. Because I respect your opinion, as I should, and they respect their opinion.
Oh, no.
Okay. I'm going to take the under in the Coastal Carolina South Carolina game. Coastal Carolina South Carolina under 147. I'll take that one. 147 minus 110. Coastal Carolina South Carolina under 147 minus 110. I'll take that one. I think South Carolina is going to try to fix their problems by playing tighter on defense.
Adam Ross has South Carolina minus 30 and Pitt minus 3.5.
South Carolina minus 13 or minus 13.
Okay, yeah, he says 30 here.
All right, so I'm taking the under in South Carolina, Coastal Carolina. That's an official play. The Duquesne-Pittsburgh game, Poitier and Maxwell Smart leaning over.
But Max is also saying, I think Duquesne can win. Well, it's a tight spread. But
okay,
I think Duquesne can win.
No, but Pittsburgh played very impressively, right? As a double-digit dog, almost beat Iowa outright in their last game. So that indicates obviously that Pittsburgh has some life to them and might have some general line value as far as the market is concerned, at least in the short term. And this line has gotten, let me see, it's gotten bet way down. Wow, I thought I was on the first half lines. I was not. I was on the full game lines. I was seeing 3. When I handicapped this game, it was 5.5. For Duquesne, plus 5.5, and now it's down to 3 or 3.5. So a pretty nice move there in favor of Duquesne.
Wow, I'm gonna stay off the side. I think at that spot. Dwayne Reed says Pittsburgh no brainer. Also likes Iowa at home. Kevin Pine coming in with some NCAA football comments. I've copied and pasted that. We'll go right to it when we get there.
Yeah, and money come in on Coastal Carolina as well. They opened at 12.5. Now it's down to 11.5 or 12. So the market clearly liking them. And the Mississippi State Dayton game is also interesting. Mississippi State is a strong defensive team as always, improving a bit offensively. But again, Dayton is kind of deep. And I was thinking that Dayton catching 4 points on the overnight line was the side, and now it's down to 3, 3.5, or 2. And maybe I should pull the trigger on that right now. I'd definitely be leaning Dayton. So again, my leans would be Rutgers, Dayton. South Carolina under I've taken. That's official. Appalachian State, Eastern Carolina is tricky. Eastern Carolina has a player back who's doing great, but the line has moved in Appalachian State's favor, which is something that concerns me. Maxwell Smart liking the over in the TCU game. That line has already moved. Wisconsin, Iowa. I did look at that game, and I have nothing on that one as of right now. That's a game, obviously 2 ranked teams. That one is a game that might have second half written all over it as far as the pregame spreads are concerned, the pregame lines are concerned. Not sure what I think about it, and I'm going to gonna watch and wait and think and probably hold off. And then Oklahoma State, Minnesota is also very interesting. Of course, they're playing this game in the new stadium, right, where they're preparing for the Final Four, where the Vikings play. And it is. I was leaning under on this one, and I might have given it, except it dropped from 145.5 to 142 or 142.5. I'd still be leaning under a little bit. I did cash with the under in the Minnesota game against BC. That was one play that I gave out officially that did cash. That was on a Monday, though, so that was a little bit of a unique scenario. Everyone knows by now that Monday is by far my best day in handicapping. That was a Monday game. This is a Friday game. A lot of times I'm just a zombie on Friday, and so my Friday reads are sometimes off. I'm going to hold off on the total on that one. I certainly don't want to take the ass end of that one. And I believe, do we have Dartmouth and Albany at the half right now?
Oh, nice.
All right. Why don't I look at that one, Jim, while you take over the show, if you can, for a couple of seconds while I look at Dartmouth Albany on the second half.
I can. We'll get a second. We may get a second half play out of Pete, and then we'll move on to these championship games in football, but not quite yet. Noli knows, like in Mississippi State, Dayton under. Max saying Dayton is a hard place to play for road teams.
Yes.
Oh, and Stephen Alla giving a play of the day in Dutch soccer. Ooh, Excelsior versus Utrecht. Over 3 at minus 105. Says this line has skyrocketed 40 points from this morning. Wow. Great stuff, Stephen Alla. Much love. Mr. Gokster asking if why Appalachian State's line is dropping. Maybe you could also take a little look at that. Red Girl liking the under in Minnesota. Let's see what else. What did I miss here? Tom Marino saying Wisconsin is great at home, but they lack depth. Foul trouble on the road can be an issue. Iowa has the size to contain them. That will be a play that will be a spot that I will copy and paste for my afternoon study, which won't be much because, sadly, I'm going to have to really focus on your guys' help for my college basketball action. I have the Audible today at 4 p.m. Eastern with Donnie Rightside, so I'm not going to be able to put as much time as I would like to. Adam Ross said, Veasan said casinos have been notified to be wary of big Clemson, the points, Ohio State moneyline parlays. Interesting. Dom Ricci saying Noli under, love it. On that spot, the Mississippi State Dayton under. Eddie Euler says Appalachian State ECU over, but it's the question to you, Pete, with the question mark. The
Appalachian State ECU over, yes, that was something that I thought of, but it's a very high total, and I'm going to stay off it. It's just a little bit. With teams like these at this point in the year, I don't want to, unexpected things can happen, and I'm just not quite seeing enough that I'm liking here. All right, Albany on the second half. It's tempting to take Albany minus 4.5 or on the money line at minus 275, but I think I am going to just pass on it. Do neither one. Obviously, Albany was the favorite to start this game. They're getting outshot. They're minus 4.5 on the second half. If you gave me a free play on the second half right now, I would probably throw it on Albany or the under. As of right now, though, I think I'm going to make this one a pass as far as an official play is concerned. Tempting to take the under, though, that's for sure.
Jensen Bonds, back to that Wisconsin-Iowa game, says Wisconsin is a better team and have played better opponents than Iowa. Nick Dial liking Northern Illinois plus 3.5 in NCAA football. Going to be copying and pasting that. We got some very big games today, and only 2 of them, so we should be able to hammer them pretty well. Did you make a play on the second half, Pete? Sorry,
I'm about to pull the trigger on the under, I think. I'm about to pull the trigger on the under at 77, I think.
No, don't worry. This is a big spot. Take your time. Jensen Bonds says, I took Wisconsin already. Pomarino, and they're going back and forth, says Wisconsin recruiting class was garbage. Eddie Weller saying Wisconsin 8-0 against the spread last 8 road games, quite a trend. Ron Nobody, not a nobody to us. Not on Low Shack in the Bag. You are now part of the Low Bag family. Says, big fan from Vancouver.
Shout out.
That's my home, Vancouver. Unless you're talking about Vancouver, Washington, which is still a nice city, but I think you're talking about Vancouver, BC, my home. And much love to you, Ron Nobody. Thank you for joining us. Marino going back to that game, back to the Iowa-Wisconsin game, saying Happ is good, but he can't shoot. Iowa can contain him with their size. Pittsburgh Bruce says, I'm on Pittsburgh. The Pals brought us back. That's going to be a fun game, Duquesne, Pittsburgh tonight. 2 pesos on Wisconsin money line. Ron Lofton. Wisconsin hasn't impressed me, but Iowa has on Hawkeyes. Well, that's a good chance for you to sing a song, but I don't want you to sing it.
No, I'm still looking at this second half
stuff
here.
As you do your thing. Melee Payless Way also leaning Wisconsin. Barry Cohen is taking the under.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take I bet it. I'm going to make that one an official play. Dartmouth, Albany, second half under 77 minus 115. Dartmouth, Albany, second half under 77 minus 115. This is not any kind of a lock or anything, but I think there's small value, and what the hell, I will make it. I'll make it an official play. Let me just see if there's another line.
Not Flush Allen says cash first half over. Not much defense being played in this Dartmouth game.
Yes, I know. And he thinks that so he's just commenting. He's not warning me off it necessarily.
No, Spencer Ward, I'm from Vancouver, Canada. But I was a Seahawks fan at times. My whole family, my mom's side of family, grew up in San Francisco, so that's all I knew. When I could understand football, sure, I fell in love with Largent and Dave Craig and those bums.
Yes.
But
all right, the line I'm going to quote is 77 minus 110. It's 115 at Heritage, but 110 everywhere else. Might be, not a lot of defense is being played here. We'll see. We'll see if that changes in the second half. It could not, but I'm going to make a bet that it does. Under 77 on the second half. That's this one makes me nervous because again, when teams go overseas and stuff like that, the game plans can change. And a lot of time they'll be just like, why weren't you guys playing any defense the entire game? It's like, we were overseas, The
volatility skyrockets.
Well, yes, exactly. So
Nick Dial says, don't do it, Pete. Shit's going over.
Yeah. Nick Dial might be right. Well, I already did it, so I'll roll with it. Might have been a mistake, though.
Al Hart says we need Friday's best bets. Anything Al Hart says gets repeated.
Okay. The Friday's best bets for me are definitely in NHL. Definitely in NHL. The Friday's best bets would definitely be in NHL. Carolina -1 seems like a no-brainer, right? Lots of positives surrounding Carolina. Lots of negatives surrounding Arizona.
So funny.
I'm sorry, Anaheim.
It's so funny that we're using that Anaheim's mom's leaving as a real edge. But I think they're messing with the hockey gods.
No, I don't know if that's not the negative that I'm thinking about.
That's the negative I'm thinking about, man.
I'm thinking about just Anaheim having a tough time scoring in general. Now going up against a team that can hold weaker offenses down with a goaltender that's doing very well, an offense that is productive. So I would think that Carolina -1 is a nice play there. And I'd also say that the Coastal Carolina South Carolina under 147 is a nice play as well. Again, who knows anything can happen in college basketball, but the first half is probably a decent play on the under as well. South Carolina, I have to assume, is going to after the loss to Wofford, I have to assume is going to try to clamp down defensively on a team that they can stop. That's my assumption of what they're going to do. So South Carolina under 147, and the first half maybe even better. Carolina -1, and Colorado -1 seems like a no-brainer as well.
Oh yeah. With the Blues scuffling the way they are. Absolutely. I like them both very much. I like this. We had a day like this last year. It was a big turning point in my NHL season where there was only 3 games. All 3 home teams looked very viable as puck line favorites. and I jumped on all of them, and I hit. This is very similar to that game. I was thinking about that day. Very, very similar.
Nick Dial says, "Wow." Nick Dial says, "Don't do it, Pete. Shit's going over." Yeah, I'm not sure you want to. I'm not sure you want to tail that, people. I'm not sure you want to tail that.
Scott D says, "You guys make my damn day. I'm not a hockey guy, but I can listen to you break down NHL all day, and I do." I know, Scott D. Much love to you, Scott D. We got to get into NCAA football.
Okay, let's get into college. What's going on? What he's pointing out?
Yeah, what's going on? Okay.
All right. So, now let's talk about college football. Again, the MAC championship game and the Pac-12 championship game go tonight. The MAC championship game seems like Buffalo should roll here. I would love to know what Kyle Jack thinks about this one. But interestingly, some money has come in on Northern Illinois, which, when you look at this, I mean, Northern Illinois, Buffalo has a good defense too. People just think that Northern Illinois' defense is so great, which it is, but it's just way better than their offense as compared with Buffalo, who has an excellent defense and just an awesome offense. Northern Illinois has problems passing, but cannot ignore the fact that it was 3.5 at Pinnacle and now bet down to 3. So money came in, money that's capable of moving the market came in on Northern Illinois at Pinnacle, which is interesting. Still 3.5 in other places. I was thinking that this has to be, Buffalo has got to be the play here. It's just that Buffalo is comparable to Northern Illinois on defense. But on offense, they're way better. And, Northern Illinois' big strength is their pass rush, right? They get a lot of sacks, but Buffalo has a great offensive line. They don't give up a lot of sacks. And, Northern Illinois probably does have an advantage in the trenches, defensive line against offensive line. But Buffalo just has a big advantage everywhere else.
Look at Big Boss and Anil Frank and R.S. Jacobs, all this stuff. Look at this. And Naeem, my man Naeem. The Big Boss says, under in the MAC championship game, NIU will win.
Wow.
And he's had such a good read on totals, and he was hitting the overs nonstop. Noli knows NIU Buffalo under 51 and Washington -5 and Naeem 25. Love the under in the Buffalo game.
All right. So if people are loving the under in the Buffalo game, that definitely benefits Northern Illinois. Wow. And I would trust there you go, Theodore McIntosh. I'm on Buffalo -3.5 and the under.
Oh.
Jay Ballgame says NIU is the right side, and if you want to take NIU, it's still a split line. So if you have multiple outs, definitely go to one of your outs that has 3.5 and grab that one. Let's see, Adam Ross, NIU won't have jitters or be nervous. Been there, done that. I think they win as a dog. Kobe Valentine, Northern Illinois has owned this series, and Buffalo hasn't really played anyone good. I lean NIU at money line. Infamoso Buffalo. Baseball Bob, beat Buffalo is the play. It'll be off to the races. Yeah, all right, not a surprise at all. Well, actually, slightly surprising that so many opinions are coming in on Northern Illinois. I would have thought that most people would be liking Buffalo here, and then a few people, maybe including Kyle Jack, would be saying that Northern Illinois
getting Kyle Jack here.
Yeah, we're on football, by the way. We are on football, by the way. College football. Yes. R.S. Jacobs says, I don't see how you bet NIU. Yeah, they have problems offensively. Q Peso, Northern Illinois money line +145. Anil Frank, Buffalo rolls 35-17. Bartender B, Northern Illinois wins outright. Okay, so strong opinions on both sides here. Adam Ross, I would take Northern Illinois money line. Not at all surprising that there are strong opinions on both sides. I would have expected it to be maybe more like 2/3, 2-1 in favor of Buffalo. Seems to be 55% Northern Illinois, 45% Buffalo. DJ Big Boss says Buffalo has not been consistent. R.S. Jacob says Buffalo in a dome. Wow, watch out.
Bloods W says, who's your dog of the day, Jimmy? I would say my two favorite aren't dogs, but you get them on the dog line, on the puck line, Avalanche and Hurricanes. A lot of people are asking about parlays right now. Our parlay videos probably should be up now. I don't know if it's up right now, but I'll tell you who I love. And I'm using love. I'm doing 2 parlays. I didn't do 2 parlays on the video, but I'm doing 2 parlays. I'm 1 parlay. It's all money lines. Falcons, Colts, Broncos. And then I might double that because I've only been doing a half unit. I might actually double put a full unit on just the Colts, Broncos money line parlay. I got 287 Falcons, Colts, Broncos, and I'll get quite a bit less on just the Colts, Broncos because they're both -205, -225. But God, I really, really like them. Okay, now do we move on to the Pac-12 final?
Yeah, the Pac-12 game is a little tougher. Obviously, 2 very strong defense-oriented teams, and you're getting, you're paying a premium here with Washington -5 or 5.5. I mean, Utah's no slouch. They play tough defense as well. This game, I wanted to take Washington, but I didn't want to lay 5 or 5.5 in a game like this. Total is very, very low, 44, down to 43.5. Obviously, it's likely to be a low-scoring game, but this game could either be A, unexpectedly high-paced, fast-paced, or B, sneak over even at a snail's pace. So, it's a game that makes me nervous. I'd love to hear if anyone has any educated opinions on this one. If not, it's possible that these lines are just too close to make a play on.
Grover Alexander says Utah under first half is the play. Kevin Pine says Utes tonight. I don't bet college football often, but when I do, I tend to do well. I cashed on Ohio State last weekend. I'm all over Utah tonight.
Mm-hmm.
All over Utah tonight.
Naeem 25 likes Washington.
Washington -5 going against a backup. Wow. Tomer says, I think the value's on the under. Browning consistently disappoints in big games, and he struggles in the red zone. Grover Alex on Utah +6. Yeah, Kobe Valentine, Washington -5. Washington knows his team has already beat them. Utah only mustered 7 points. Pittsburgh Bruce says, I can't see Utah. These are tough spots.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the championship games, as we know, tend to have very, very accurate lines. You have teams that are, fully motivated, usually with the same momentum, and usually the market has a pretty good read on them. Even if a team has been good all year long and undervalued by the market, by the time you get to the championship game, the market, the value betting on them has usually evaporated. So it's, it's a matter of individual matchups and individual circumstances on any specific game. There can be championship games that, for unique reasons, have obvious good value with one side or another. But in general, in all sports, this is true. Like even in March Madness, there's usually great value in the round of 64, round of 32, sometimes moving into the Sweet 16 as well. But by the time you get to the Final Four and the championship game, it becomes a lot harder to find value, at least in my opinion. And the reason is kind of obvious, because you don't have a team with two teams with opposite momentums or different momentum values going up against each other. You have all the factors are the same, right? By definition, in a championship game, both teams are good, both teams playing well, both teams probably accurately valued by the market, and both teams fully motivated. So it's championship games can be very tough in all sports. All right,
I'm trying to find
what are you looking for?
I'm trying to find our parlay video. I'm not sure if the parlay video is up yet. As soon as it's up, I'll tweet it out. And then I guess I should have got Rafa looking for it earlier.
But Grover Alex likes the first half under. That is certainly possible if both these teams come in and it's just an absolute slugfest. That could easily be the case in the NFL game, the early NFL game on Thanksgiving. I like the first half under. Didn't have the balls making an official play, and of course that cashed very easily. And Scotty Rock Forever says, tripping on taking Utah. Utes lost Moss and Huntley, Washington all day. DJ Big Boss, unless Washington has grown some balls, they soft. Utah deserves this one. Give me the points. So Scotty Rock Forever and DJ Big Boss both typing in all caps here on opposite sides.
Yes, and Big Boss not concerned with the backup quarterback, backup running back with the Utes. Likes the points. If it's a low-scoring game, why wouldn't you like the points?
Yes, I mean, that's the thing, is that when Utah's doing well, they're just a great program, strong in the trenches. Their health and their talent in the trenches for a team like Utah is much more important than who's at the skill positions, usually, unless they have one guy who's like an NBA, prospect, and he gets injured, then that's a big loss. But in general, it's when Utah is very strong in the trenches, the skill position players are relatively interchangeable, and it's the strength in the trenches that gives them such an edge in games and usually line value. So yeah.
Paco Ely says Washington peaking right now, playing impressive defense. Put a rose in their mouth. They're going to Pasadena.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, is that most teams heading into championship games are peaking again.
Let's W says, Pete, put that gold blazer. It's a camel. It's a camel blazer. Says your picks are being great when you wear it. And he's right. When you wear that camel blazer, when you have camel power.
I'll wear it tonight. No problem. I promise I'll wear it tonight. I'll wear it tonight with this shirt. Kobe Valentine says Washington wins 24-10. So he's liking the under, the very low total, and a cover by Washington. That might be it right there. 24-10, 24-13, something like that. Naeem says, love Washington's defense against Utah's offense. Yeah, I mean, Washington is another very well-coached, defense-oriented team.
DJ Big Boss says, sorry for the Caps fan. I'm at work. Supposed to be data entry.
No, I like the. I mean, it's just the thing is that when I see an all caps comment, it makes me think that you really believe it more than I thought it was intentional and for a purpose. If you really believe something more than a normal comment, you should type in all caps. I'm just. But thanks for letting us know that it's actually not a comment that he believes more than his other comments. Just a slight mistake. Okay, thank you, DJ Big Boss. But no, I read it. If I see an all caps comment, I read that as this guy really believes this, more than just an average comment, right?
Sure.
Like if I said I was taking the Dartmouth Albany second half under, that would just be a normal font, not all caps, not all caps. But when I'm saying that I like Carolina tonight, if I was going to type that in, that would be all caps.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm always going to use regular case.
Just to use an example. Okay.
All right, I like it. It's 18 past. I've got tons of work to do. I got to get ready for the Audible. We have tons of work to do on college football.
All right, so no
basketball.
NFL. I just put that in there because you said you wanted to.
Yeah,
put
but
NFL.
we just don't have time. I've got plays I want to bring in, but I guess I'll wait until the late show.
That's it. And Melas Palas Way says Boise Fresno under. I did give Fresno +3 as an official play, and I did bet that one. Now, that's an interesting game. We can talk about that in the afternoon if we want to, but I did give Fresno +3 as an official play, and I also gave the under 63.5 in the Alabama-Georgia game as an official play. We'll talk about that more in the evening show. We got to wrap it up right now, right, Jim?
We do got to wrap it up. Sorry that we didn't get to NFL. We got lots of plays to make. I did give out the parlays that I'll be doing, and I'm gonna need to. I would like to have those bets in before we get into the late show. I still haven't bet them yet, but yeah, we got so much work to do. We all have work to do. Let's meet back here
6 o'clock Eastern time. Thanks so much, everyone.